Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
And I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Friday ski industry news videos. This always surprises some people, but it gets awfully busy around here at this time of year.
But how could that be? There's no skiing, Jeff.
I know, but it just believe me, it does. There's a lot to do this time of year. I've been pretty busy today and the whole week. So Bob's going to take us through the news. Normally when Bob hosts the news, I at least brief myself on what we're going to talk about.
Oh, you're going in cold?
Nice. So I'm in total blind here into Top 5 Fridays. I will take us through some housekeeping news to start. First and foremost, we started a July 4th sale today.
Yep.
July 4th is technically a week from today, but we're going to run the sale from today through the Monday after July 4th weekend. I believe that's the 7th.
I think you're right, yep.
So you get, what is that, about a 10-day period to take advantage of it. What we've done is we're offering free base treatments, again, on 2025 and 2026 skis and snowboards. The 2025 stuff is heavily discounted, as we've talked about a lot over the past few months. The 2026 gear is now kind of a mix of pre-orders and not.
We're getting 26 stuff in.
Yeah. Steadily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the pre-order stuff is slowly going away and just turning into normal sales. I guess similar topic, we kind of ended our guarantee of offering skis at their pre-tariff prices. We had to raise some of those 10 days ago or so. And we no longer were able to offer that $100 tariff-free price guarantee. And we are starting to see some prices move up from other brands. So some have already gone up, and we recently just heard from both Salomon and Blizzard about some changes to prices.
Yeah.
So I think they should have increased already, and they probably haven't. So if you want to act quick, you could probably get an order in before those prices go up. But yeah, you may just start to see that. Anybody that did buy one of those $100 tariff-free price guarantees, you can reach out whenever and use it. And of course, you'll get the original price. I think that's it on sales. Oh, we're also offering an extra 20% off items in our clearance section, and we were just looking at it, and I believe there's 411 different products in the clearance section.
I always like the Vocal Blaze 82 for $179.
Is that what it was?
Something like that, yeah.
It's absurd.
Great deal.
We should raise that price. Thanks, Bob. And then, let's see, our warehouse sale is basically 3 weeks away. Really looking forward to that. If you're in drivable distance, would encourage you to attend if you can. It's really fun, and you never know what you might find. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
You won't see it all.
No, probably not. You could spend 4 hours here.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I spend 3 days.
Yeah, and then we're putting stuff away, and I'm like, I didn't even see this thing.
No one bought
what
this.
What a deal.
Yeah. And then, let's see, we did a Ripstick 96 and 96 Black Edition conversation this week. That just went up yesterday. That was fun to talk about. And I think that's it.
Sweet.
Did I miss anything on housekeeping?
You've covered everything in my notes.
Okay.
On with the news?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Jeff. Coming in cold. We're going about the public land sale update again, okay? This is an article from New York Times piggybacking off of what we talked about last week with the sale of federal and Bureau of Land Management lands to people to develop housing on, basically. And there's been a little bit of an update. And without going too far into the details, we have Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough kind of put the brakes on Senator Mike Lee's more wholesale sale of the lands. So Senator Lee has to rework this process to say that the sale of federal land for development purposes has to be within 5 miles of population centers. So it sounds like you're not able to buy 4,000 acres in the middle of Utah. You have to buy something within 5 miles of a population center in order to kind of justify it as housing development. So
That makes sense.
it does.
Isn't that like the desirable land anyways?
For selling to people that want to live there, yes.
And for the buyers?
I think that the worry was that there was going to be a massive land grab of
Sure.
unpopulated areas. And the thing is, you like if that went through, then and someone buys it, like you can't take it back.
Right.
You know, there's
So
that issue.
I see where you're going with this. So from an outdoor enthusiast's perspective, this is potentially less worrisome.
Let's say you live in Summit County, Colorado.
Great example.
Okay, so that's a population center. So now
You're going to sell Lake Dillon?
they're going to sell all that stuff. So 5 miles out, all of those kind of fun, accessible areas like Vail Pass or whatever.
All those rogue mountain bike trails off of Wilderness?
Right. So stuff like that
Somebody's going to know what I'm talking about.
could all be sold.
Is
So,
that jump line still back there?
Oh, I don't know. I
used to
didn't
live-
mountain bike then.
I used to live up there and could just ride out my back door, and one day like stumbled across like a really, really well built like
Yeah.
tombstone dirt jump line. It was just like, where am I?
Hey, you're on public lands.
Yeah.
So
All right,
now
so that's
there could be
concerning.
more condos there. So that's kind of the issue is
So
that
potentially more concerning.
potentially more concerning for people that live in those areas.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense from a business or development standpoint that
Interesting.
that'll be easier to build and sell housing closer to population centers.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see where this is going to go.
So more dense sprawl as opposed
Yeah.
to more wide open stuff. But yeah, that was kind of the end note of the article there, Jeff, was we'll see where it goes.
The Summit County analogy really helped me understand. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. That was in the article.
Like, what about all the rivers? That would still remain public, right? Waterways, public waterways.
What's that reservoir just north of Silverthorne there on the way to Kremling? It's like the Green Mountain Reservoir or something like
Yeah.
very Vermonty sounding.
I don't remember. And it's like along the Colorado River, I think.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because the Colorado River goes towards Kremling from Silverthorne, if I remember correctly.
Then it might be.
Oh, like not far from Silverthorne.
No, not too far.
Oh my God.
Heaney.
That's not on
it's
the
in
Col-
like the town of Heaney.
That's not on the Colorado River. That's on the Blue River. Right?
No. Blue River goes. Oh, maybe it goes through. Yeah, you might be right.
Yep, I am right.
Okay.
Because I've paddled the
Yeah.
Blue River a lot. I don't remember the name of the reservoir, but it's really cool.
And it sounded very Vermonty, I remember.
Yeah, I always was intrigued to live there.
Yeah.
Because there is like a small town. What was the name of it?
Heaney.
Heaney?
Yeah.
Yeah, on like the far side of the
It's like a
of the
fishing
lake,
town.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It always
Really
looked
cool.
really cool to me.
Yeah.
I always was like, why am I living in Silverthorne when I could live out here and it's like a 10-minute further drive?
Yeah, it's a nice drive too.
Yeah. Yeah, highly recommend kayaking the Blue River for any whitewater enthusiasts out there.
All right. Topic number 2. We have touched on this topic before. Specifically, this is about the Sun Valley lawsuit surrounding the death of a skier.
I know that. I saw this one.
So it's kind of that combined with what we talked about last week with Oregon insurance companies bailing out of the state. So just recently, the Idaho Supreme Court held up the initial ruling that Sun Valley is not liable for the death of the skier.
Yeah, I saw
This is
that.
Milas versus Sun Valley. And what's interesting is so their ruling noted that they have to look at each one. So the snow gun that this guy collided with was clearly marked, indicating that the resort did what they reasonably could. And I love these legal terms like reasonable. Like, what's reasonable for a ski area to do in order to keep their guests safe? How far
Or who determines what's
do they have?
reasonable?
How far do they have to go, and who determines what they have to do? So they used that type of language, which I thought was interesting. They also noted in the ruling that the 1979 Ski Area Liability Act should be taken on a case-by-case basis. So you're not just in the clear because this ruling from 1979 said ski resorts aren't liable. You've signed your ticket, or you've bought your ticket, you signed your waiver. You can't sue the ski area. So they are looking to take it more on a case-by-case basis. And more language, resorts need to clear a standard of care in each situation.
I've been hurt so many times on a mountain, I could start my own class action lawsuit.
For just your amounts of times.
Just
Totally. And like, how far do you take it to keep people safe? I remember seeing someone hit, a snow, like a groomer had made it in a pass, and the snowball and chunk had come down, and a skier hit it and fell and went into the fencing and was uninjured. But, I went up and told Ski Patrol that they have to go replace their fencing, and people came in behind me saying, "You have to take out all those chunks from the ski trail." And the Ski Patrol's like, "We can't just go around taking snow off of the mountain."
Right.
So like there's like that's kind of
They
where
can go replace the fence.
they can go put the fence back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That falls under a reasonable standard of care.
Yeah.
But removing snow chunks from ski trails, like unless it's got to be a big snow chunk.
I mean, that's like the terrain park is just big snow chunks.
Right.
So there's like a gray area there.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I think that, like, I wonder how many of the Supreme Court justices are skiers. And if it requires some type of intimate knowledge of ski area safety and how things go on a day-to-day basis, whether they rule a certain way or not.
Yeah, very interesting.
People be like, no, that's a clearly marked snow gun. Or that's not a big snow chunk. I'd jump right over that. So
I like the snow chunks because you can transition into them, like ollie over it and then land on it, but slightly over it.
Yeah. Again, kind of a slippery slope here. Going back to that Oregon insurance company thing, where if these rulings start to go in the favor of the plaintiff, I suppose, then it's going to be harder and harder to get these insurance companies to buy in.
Totally. And this is sort of off topic, but we've talked about like the privatization of skiing and a membership model, like a country club.
Yep.
Like what Stowe Country Club is doing right now, going from like a semi-private course to full private. Like, can only imagine that if the liability starts to become too much, like it probably looks a lot more attractive to go full private.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Again,
your members are invested in I don't know. It's interesting.
I think the bottom line on this one is similar to topic one, which is we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah, I love speculation.
Yeah.
Really, that's what this is. This should be top 5
speculation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 5 ski industry speculations.
Well, this isn't terribly speculative, Jeff, but you'll enjoy this one. This is from a CBS News article about winter park development. In 2022, they submitted a master plan, which has largely seemed to have been improved, focusing on lifts, lodges, parking, just kind of overall
big plan.
Resort upgrades. 2 main ones. One is the expansion of terrain to Vasquez Mountain, consisting of 358 acres with 3 lifts and a T-bar, which will make Winter Park the 3rd largest resort in Colorado. I always think it's funny, Stowe's about 450 acres.
Yep.
So they're adding a Stowe to
a full stow.
to their huge mountain
Yeah.
already. And it's like, that's kind of it almost seems like a blip to
Yeah.
those thousands of acres. But that's the big one for terrain expansion.
What's the biggest Colorado resort? Vail? By geographic area?
By skiable acres. Yeah, it's got to be Vail and then
Breck?
Breckenridge. That's my guess.
That would
I
be
don't
my
think
guess.
Keystone's bigger.
I don't think Keystone's bigger than Breckenridge.
Number 2 here, Jeff, a gondola going from the town of Winter Park to the base of the ski area. So all of your dreams of gondola transport are coming true in Winter Park.
That would help a lot. Have you been to Winter Park?
It has been a long, long time. I
was
don't
there-
remember there being a town.
There's a town, for sure. So I was there with Fisher, what, three years ago, something like that. And it is, like, it's not tremendously convenient getting from the town to the
Yeah.
mountain.
Well,
And that
now
would be
it
great.
is.
Like, I love the Mammoth gondola that goes from town up
Yeah.
to Canyon Lodge. I always thought that was really cool.
yeah.
Big favor. I think Stowe should do it.
From this town, where we are now?
Not here. Bottom of Harlow Hill.
Okay. Yeah. Move it up 6 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, not from here. That would be weird. Unless it was literally from Ski Essentials.
Yeah.
And then I'm all for it.
Okay. Now, Jeff, here's the next wrinkle here. We had talked about the train component from Denver to Winter Park. I don't know, maybe a month or 2 ago.
That's also going to be a gondola? Sweet.
They're not making the train into the gondola, but picture this. You fly from your home to Denver.
Yep.
You get on a train.
Yep.
You go to the town of Winter Park.
Yep.
Then you get on a gondola and you go to the ski area.
Yep.
And then you go skiing in all the new Vasquez Peak areas.
Sounds great.
And you never have to
I love it.
touch a car or anything like that.
I love it.
No rentals, no shuttles, no nothing.
It's like the European model.
Yeah. So that is coming soon to Winter Park.
I wish there was more and more of that.
Yeah.
I
it
wish
is-
you could take the Amtrak train from, I don't even know where the Amtrak
New York City.
Thanks. the one that comes to Waterbury.
Yeah.
Like, I wish people could get off the Amtrak train and get on a public bus that would take them somewhere in Stowe and then
Yeah.
be able to get on in theory, I guess you can do those things probably, but it can't be that convenient.
No, and it's certainly not, like the train thing is very much run and encouraged by the state.
Right.
Like that doesn't really happen here in Vermont a whole lot.
Yeah.
So, cool
Cool.
new things for Winter Park coming up.
Yeah. Exciting.
Topic number 4 here is a video here from KDVR highlighting the annual Breckenridge Employee Trash Pickup Day, which is equal parts entertaining and disheartening. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these videos before of ski area employees picking up trash like below the lifts and in base areas.
All I'm going to say is, as a former Vail Resorts employee that worked in Breckenridge for a full calendar year, I did not do this.
Guess how many pounds of trash they cleaned up under the lifts and in the base areas?
How many pounds of trash?
Yeah,
1,729 pounds.
you're 1,000 over, 780 pounds. But still,
It's a lot of trash.
it's a lot of trash. And, anything under the sun from passes and poles and gloves and vapes and alcohol bottles and phones and AirPods, all that stuff.
I used to do that at Shawnee Peak back in the day in the summer because we had a family camp nearby and
Yeah.
we would just go walk up and down the trails. I used to really enjoy finding broken poles, and I think I wanted to keep them all, and I am quite sure my mom did not
Yeah.
like that game.
Yeah. It's one thing if your AirPod falls out. Like your season's passed, your wallet. Like you don't want to drop those things.
Yep,
But like
agreed.
alcohol containers, like trash, like food trash, stuff like that, I have very little patience for that.
Yeah, just please don't put it on the ground.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
It's actually, you're giving me PTSD because on my drive into work this morning, which is like How many miles total is it?
14, 13.
I bet 13.
Okay.
It takes 20 minutes door to door from my house to here. I was behind a black Ford Explorer that in that amount of time littered 2 cigarette butts.
What license plate?
I wish I had taken a picture. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time, I'm not going to I'm not going to try and get them to pull over or what. That just feels like
some people do.
Something worse would happen at that. But
Yeah.
the second time, I did roll down my window and threw my hand out and was tried to get their attention and held up 2. Really? 2?
They probably thought you were littering too. You were their buddy.
Ah, man, you're right.
I don't know. I hate it. I think that I kind of think that they need to set up video cameras on lift towers, and if they see you throwing stuff off, then you get your pass pulled for life. I'm done with throwing trash off the chair.
I'm in. Yeah.
Okay.
If that's what it takes.
Yeah.
How can your mind operate in that way and be like, I don't want this anymore. It needs to be thrown away. That's the proper solution.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I cannot wrap my mind around that.
Yeah. It drives me nuts riding up the 6-pack in the spring over the river.
Yeah.
There's
just stuff in the river.
All sorts of nips and
Yeah.
White Claws and Twisted Teas.
And Zyn that's a big one now. The Zyn things.
Well, it's one thing if you want to use those substances to destroy your life. It's another that you want to throw it on the ground when you're done with it.
You can use. I don't have any issue with people using. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just don't throw it on the ground.
All right, I'm fired up.
Pack it in, pack it out. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that was just drilled into my head because I went to a lot of summer camps and hiked on the Appalachian Trail a lot.
Yeah. I hear you. Okay, moving on. 4.5, Jeff.
Ooh,
this is following up on us getting fired up about the safety bars last week. There's an additional article for those of you who want to read from Ski Mag. Why are Americans so weird about the safety bar? So
perfect.
You can keep reading about that if you want.
Further reading.
Yep. Edits here. Number 1, we have a video from SRG Skiing on 20 ways to describe snow. If you feel like learning about all different snow types and whatnot, then you should watch this video. It is less skiing oriented and more kind of learning and didactic in nature.
Those are good things to do.
Yep. Number 2, from Mediocre Amateur, we have a video on the Magic S Loop in the Northern Cascades National Park. Cascades are super dramatic mountains, up in Washington there. You can see your mind working.
What is it called? Magic
S Loop. So it's a known kind of backcountry adventure.
Huh.
So lots of uphill skiing, it looks like to me. And then number 3, I don't know if you saw this, Skills with Phil posted, this is what mountain biking in Vermont really looks like.
Yeah, did you watch it?
I fast forwarded it until I could see something I recognized, and it wasn't too far to see Katy Hill and seeing them rip down bears.
Do you not ride Perry Hill? Have you ever ridden Perry Hill?
I don't like that stuff. I like some of it, not all of it.
Just stay off the summit and you'd like Perry Hill. That's what I did, because I had little interest in watching him ride Saxon Hill. I have ridden Chamberlain in Richmond, but I skipped over that. I watched it at home the other night, so I'm glad it was included. Yeah, it was really cool. Also, I thought I rode flow fast. So we have a trail here in Stowe called Florence that is nicknamed Flow, and yes, it is a flow trail, and it's really fun to ride. And yeah, I genuinely thought I rode it pretty fast, and watching them ride it, I was like, nope, that looks different.
Yeah, they carry a lot of speed. Like Bears was the one that caught my eye.
I think I could have kept up on Bears, but I don't think I could have kept up with them on Flow.
No, it's fun watching people that are a level above doing the things that you know every day.
Also, there was some misinformation in this video.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to blame it on me.
No. because he said, so they started, this is completely irrelevant to most people watching. They started in the ranch camp parking lot and then went up and rode bears down to the new parking lot. And while they were in the new parking lot, he said that this is the original parking lot, but now most people park at ranch camp. And it's actually the opposite of that. The original trailhead was the ranch camp trailhead.
Yeah, before it was ranch camp.
Yeah, that was like a restaurant that I don't remember the name, and IRAD was there.
Yeah, well, like it was the backyard, and then the restaurant in front was Mes Amis,
Yeah, thank you.
the lovely French restaurant.
I never went there.
Yeah, I went there once. It was good.
I bet. So,
but yeah.
small thing.
Small aside.
Yep. If anybody watched last week and you're curious, no, I did not qualify for the Vermont Amateur Open. It was humbling. I've never played real, like, actual sanctioned competitive golf like that before.
Well, good for you for putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try again next year.
All right.
You can try every year.
Sweet.
Yeah. Bob kept saying that he wanted to bring a camera and following me around, and boy, I'm glad that I didn't let you do that.
I think it would have made for some nice viewing.
Actually, it would have been an incredible video. We were in threesomes, and my two playing partners were both awesome guys, and I had just a consistently bad start. But one of my playing partners, and this would have been fascinating to watch on video, started birdie, par, 10, par, birdie. Would have made for some entertaining viewing.
It's a roller coaster.
Absolute roller coaster. So, anyways, I don't have to quit my job. I'm not going to go.
Fine.
I won't be going pro as a golfer anytime soon. Thanks, Bob. That was fun.
Yeah, that was great.
Anyways, hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Definitely take advantage of that 4th of July sale, free base treatments. That's something that people probably know that we do from time to time, but we try and limit how much we do it. So something to take advantage of while we have it up. And hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.